Coach, speaking of that, what do you feel in these games in the fourth quarter that has not been working the way that you want it to happen down the
Um,
stretch?
well, I think we have a lot of really good players, and sometimes at the end, everybody thinks it's like time to they're able to do some things when really we just need to work together and utilize everybody in the fourth quarter. Where there's more screening, more movement. Like when we're screening and moving and cutting, man, our offense looks really good. And then when we're kind of standing around watching one person with the ball, I mean that's tough. So, uh, our players understand that they've been good at listening. We're going to be able to launch this, and we'll have a better understanding on, how to be better in these close games.
Coach, back here. What does this say about the team that Brittany had a really, you know, minor impact offensively and yet still was a close game?
Yeah, unfortunately, BG got some fouls on some illegal screens and, was dealing with foul trouble the entire time. And we needed to establish her down low. She's such a dominant force. She didn't get as many touches as we need her to have. That'll be another thing that we'll be looking at.
Coach, Indiana had 46 points in the paint, 15 second chance points. I know there's something you always harp on, making sure you guys have that. What didn't work necessarily tonight in those two categories?
I mean, they're really good at attacking the rim. I mean, it's hard to stay in front of Mitchell. She's, an all-star level player, and we're really geared up on trying to limit what Caitlin could do. So we weren't going to help there. So there's a little bit more space for their attackers. And, Natasha Howard just did a great job of cutting on that penetration. And we were a little slow with our rotations. But, I mean, with all that being said, we're right there at the end. And I still think we got a big room for improvement. So I'm actually pretty optimistic of what this team can become.
Coach, you kind of over here, you kind of spoke a little bit toward your offensive identity. It's super early and everyone's kind of still getting used to it. Ideally, what would you like this offensive identity to look like?
I'd like to see great spacing. I like to see great ball movement, execution with our screening, and then making the right decision off the screens. But we also, you have a lot of great players, and you want to get them all involved and all touching it and feeling like they're involved. So, that's the biggest thing is just consistently sharing the ball and getting it to whoever has the biggest advantage that day.
Coach, Tahina was one of two players in the plus minus that was in the positive. What was her impact and impression on the game tonight?
Well, she had that run where she hit a couple threes in a row, which was, really got us like back in the game. It was pretty, got a little momentum for us there. She just keeps getting better. We need her to have another ball handler to be able to bring it up versus pressure. You can see Indiana was really trying to pressure our guards as much as they could. I think she, for the most part, held her own really well. And, the improvement from the first day of training camp to now has been really impressive. And I just expect more improvement going forward from her.
Coach, could you just talk about the momentum shift, with these back-to-back games now, rotation, people staying healthy, making sure they stay up on their sets, going back now, talking with your team as far as momentum shifts.
Yeah.
How can you all better adjust it going into Saturday's game?
Well, I don't know that basketball, everybody's watching these games now, whether it's the NBA playoffs or the WNBA. These leads aren't safe, even with a minute left. I mean, they're the way the game's played now, fast paced and spreading the floor and people able to hit threes and stuff like that. You just got to be able to handle these shifts in momentum better. You can't let it get to you emotionally. You just got to go to the next possession and be ready for when it's your turn to make a run. So that'll be the big thing for us is, all right, the other team's making a run. We're fine. This time we'll get a post touch and we'll play off that, get a good shot. but overall, I'm actually pretty pleased with what I'm seeing. Like, there's definitely some stretches of play that's at a really high level. Now, can we expand that to that's just how we play all the time? Uh, and I think we'll get there. We just, right now it's what do we got? 2 more games in the next 3 days. Like, there's not a lot of practice time to clean this stuff up. When we get a chance to really break down the film and get together, right now we just got to learn as we go. But when we get a chance to, break it down in practice and spend some more time on it, I think that there'll be a lot of improvement.
Coach, talk about Nia's Coffee and her ability to just come in and create a defensive impact on short minutes.
I think Nia's having a positive impact on both sides because from the beginning of training camp, her shooting has been excellent this year. So she is a real threat from the three, which, with our inside game, that really, you bring her in for one of the bigs, all of a sudden they have to come out on her, and it gives a little bit more room for our other big inside. And then defensively, she had the game-saving block in the last game, and she came in and she goes after the ball the way I want everybody to go after the ball. She goes after with 2 hands. She gets it at its highest point. So I've just been really happy with Nia and the contributions that she's been making. All right, let's hear
Got to
it.
be official, right?
Yeah.
Megan Hall with USA Today, by the way.
Okay.
But no, I just wanted to ask you about your defense. So obviously we've talked about that for the first couple of games. What did you see tonight that you thought like was a good adjustment in real time as you guys are kind of learning on the fly?
I thought we did a good job on Caitlin. I thought we made it difficult on her to get going, and more importantly, for her to get other people involved. So that part of it was good. We're still losing vision a lot, which then allows people to get to the rim and get shots at the basket. And we obviously don't want to be giving up any of those. So I think as we improve our positioning and our vision, now our size to the rim can affect more shots. But this is completely on me. We haven't spent enough time on defense. I think there's a lot of things we haven't spent enough time on, but I mean, this is a W. You get 2 weeks, you play some games, and then you can forget about practice. There's the next game. So I'm trying to stay real deliberate. Can we improve this? Can we improve that? And then, what I envision is this being one of the better teams in the league very soon.